Shares for bicycle manufacturers and their suppliers plummeted on Tuesday amid reports of high inventory levels and slowing sales after COVID.
The drop comes a day after leading Taiwan manufacturer Giant sent a letter to suppliers requesting a payment deadline extension of 45 days. Though on Tuesday, the bike maker said the inventory situation will return to normal in the first half of 2023, analysts are not so optimistic.
The pandemic was a boon for the bicycle industry, but now that COVID restrictions are getting lifted, orders for bikes are plummeting. The world's biggest bike maker, Giant, recently contacted its suppliers, asking to extend its payment deadlines by 45 days for shipments between December 2022 and March 2023. The letter sent by Giant to its suppliers says that orders had collapsed like an avalanche overnight. It explains that with inventory levels at their highest level since 1970, the company and its clients are struggling to make payment deadlines due to cash shortages. Giant adds that its clients have also asked for longer payment periods of 120 days.
Cargo is getting stuck at customs both in the US and in Europe. Normalcy returned in the second half of the year, and many industries ended up clearing their inventories. It must be that Giant had never experienced something like this before, but I'm sure that it won't be a big problem, seeing as how the company has more than 13 billion NT in cash.
Giant released a statement addressing its letter to suppliers, stressing that it expects inventory levels to return to normal in the first half of 2023. Even then, it was too late to convince investors. Over in the stock market, the company's shares opened low and hit limit down. Shares for other bike makers such as Merida and Ideal Bike and suppliers such as Li Qi Enterprises and KMC International closed down by at least 5%. An analyst offered a conservative outlook on the bike sector's performance for 2023.
I think the coming 6 months will be an important period to observe the situation. Currently, it seems that firms in the electronic sector, such as TV, PC, and laptop companies, are still clearing their inventories. That also applies to sports equipment firms.
The analyst says revenues in the first half of the year and inventory levels will be indicators for the industry's performance. He adds that the bicycle industry was one of the biggest beneficiaries of the pandemic, but that now that COVID is waning, it's time to return to pre-pandemic levels. He adds that sales in the consumer market will likely not be too high next year due to the impact of inflation.